I'm Aline Flor. I'm here to talk about Azul. It's the climate desk Público. It's the only climate desk in Portugal. Compared to the last presentation, I think we'll go a little meta because we will talk about how to report climate news in a newsroom in a small country like Portugal, not so very scalable, and how to conquer the readers for this kind of reporting. So the presentation was signed Aline et al. Because I did it with my team. So this slide was provided my editor. Público is a legacy, we call it reference newspaper. We have some of the best journalists in their bits in the country. In the past years, we have focused on digital subscriptions to try to find a balance in our sustainability. And Público is also one of the places where you can find some innovation in journalism in Portugal. So enter, and then Azul. This is the Público's climate desk. It was created last year in April, focused on environment, climate, sustainability. Well, we always think we're a small team, but I think it's a decent one. We have 2 editors, 5 journalists, one of each is a videographer, one person for infographics, and a web designer. Azul is a no paywall, has no paywall for the content, which is very important for the kind of things we report. But the benefit, let's say, is that we are supported by sponsors. So the project right now has like the contract, the original contract was for 2 years. So the contracts will end in April next year. And we're hoping to renew, but it's also a kind of precarious way of doing this. And these are some data on the traffic. What I did, I was not in the inception of the project, so what I did was to ask the team what has worked, like what they have tried. So when I joined the team, they have already did some improvements on the, where should I write this? Here. So just very quickly to say some things that work to gather the attention of the public. This is Journalism 101. It was probably like in the other News Impacts Summit. But we are online platform. We sometimes have text in the print edition, but we don't have those strings that some colleagues have. So we have a lot of multimedia. This is video, also suited to go to Instagram Reels or TikTok, which is a platform where young people are. This is our editor, one of our editors, Claudia. She will be tomorrow in the bootcamp for YouTubers, so she can explain a little more about how to do this kind of this PK. It's explainers for climate. So I want to brush a little here. We have our podcasts. I was a podcast producer at Público for 6 years before joining Azul. So I was the supporting this podcast, and now I'm the host and producer. Oops. A lot of infographics, try to show things for the for people to see how some things are. These are from the sinking islands. Also, this one very beautiful one. Also for some showing off, because we every year have invited a director for the university, and this year was Ai Weiwei, the Chinese artist, and I think it was really cool. And also a game. So do you really know you can recycle? Like, this is very basic, but it's also something that people like they engage. So other things that we find, like always remember, this is a climate desk in a daily newspaper. So we also try to find ways to deliver these messages to people. So reader-friendly formats. So a lot of Q&As, like how to do this. For example, these offshore wind projects. This is usually economy-based subject, but then you have to kind of break it up. It's very long, extensive processes, and sometimes you do something to translate like the environmental dimension of it and try to make it easier, and sometimes more daily life things like how can I get my electric bike? Oops. The environmental myths is something that was in Azul since the inception. Like, for example, I wrote something about is all renewable energy are clean? Are they synonyms? And that kind of things is not. I mean, I got some messages from people from the public saying, "Oh, this is really useful." So it's something that for us, it's perhaps climate 101, but not for many people. Newsletters, quizzes. I love making them. I love answering them. Also, the infographics try to bring it to daily life. Sorry. Video. It's also, I mean, we all know that people like to engage with different formats. So this was something about green hydrogen. This is economy, very structural transformation that we have to make, like science thing. And then in the work technical did our amazing video team also did this explanation about the electrolysis and the process, and so many ways for people to engage with the subject. Sorry. Okay. And then the thing that works, and we all know, this is like journalism 101, like going local and try to bring things to people. So in the climate disaster, what about people with disabilities? This is something that we know in abstract, but we have to talk about that for the public. We also have amazing designers that do this art for us. Sorry. Okay, so this is about perforation of the earth. We have we had drought in Portugal too. So this is one of the things that many people outside the cities, especially, have this kind of photos, the perforation. So trying to bring these local stories. People always like to know what will happen to their water flows. This thing about the rising levels of water. We did reporting in different cities, and people always love to understand their places and not just that. Sorry. See, okay. So this is about warming cities like Lisbon. Lisbon is a good case because we have a lot of problems. It's like the biggest city in Portugal, also has some measures being taken, and many of them are not complete. So it's a wonderful case. Actually, Vera is here, our former videographer. Also, the climate activism and science, because we talk a lot about people in other countries, but it's important to understand who is doing things in Portugal and for Portugal. So some of these are activists, like Joanna is from the IPCC, one of the working groups. So it's very good to also bring, this is a mosaic that we did in the beginning of the project, and sometimes we keep filling it. So, oh, Joanna, she's there too, one of our Portuguese. Well, people love to talk about themselves as human beings, but in 2023, you always ask something and they want to talk about themselves. So what would make you stop using your car? A lot of answers. Then you try to give back to people and show like more public transportation and all the solutions that people bring to us, and then try to understand, is it being done? Is it trying to give back and have this kind of dialogue? And then also give them solutions that they can put in practice. This was 12 steps to create a mini forest. Those Japanese inspired urban forests, and it's There are growing projects in Portugal, and we partnered with a institution, a research institution, and we published in the 3 days these 12 steps. So, result, after 1.5 years, we have, well, again, my editor sent me this data, the 5 million unique users. We have earned also, like, I mean, we know that prizes are what they are, but we are very proud to have done some work that has already earned prizes. Last week, we have like Danielle, the journalist that I was replacing, and like one of the biggest prize for young journalists in Portugal. And well, that image was also like our illustrators had also won things. This was when Azul was created. You were in the front page. So I'm sorry, it's 11 minutes, but just so I also asked the team like what they think about this, what should be done. These are reflections more in the work. Also, like I've talked a lot about what has worked for a public, like in a national newspaper, and how you can bring climate to that flow. And these are other things more related to how to do that inside the newspaper. So one of the problems that we hear a lot is climate fatigue. People are not interested or seem not interested. I'm not sure if I agree, but I will talk about in 1 minute. People want to be involved, see themselves reflected. This is storytelling 101. So make things personal works for the news. So as we've seen in the previous presentation, like going to the place, talking to the people, showing their problems, and it's important for people to care. But one of the things that we think a lot is we cannot go everywhere in the world. And so when you focus too much on doing local and focusing on people's stories, you get in a Eurocentric view. Sometimes people ask, oh, climate reporting is apocalyptical, or and actually, that's also because, I mean, the apocalypse as the end of the world has not arrived in Portugal, but it did arrive for many people because of climate change. So perhaps we are not communicating enough like this. It's not apocalyptical. Climate beats should be everyone's beats right now. I think this is not my sentence, but it's something that is being talked about a lot. I think that's one of the challenges in the newspaper. So Andrea is the person who said the next phrase. Climate Desk should team up with other news beats because it's should be mainstreamed. But then we have, I believe, Writers Institute has some research on this. Like, should we have this climate desk? Should we try to mainstream that? Like, have everybody in the newsroom have this training? But then this is diluted, and I think it's kind of a dilemma. One of the things that I was asked yesterday if we're doing things right for climate reporting, and I actually think we are. But one of the things that I feel is missing, like it's obvious that perhaps the climate reporting will sound catastrophic or exaggerated if the other bits are ignoring climate. In Portugal, we have this week, the budget was for next year was presented by the government. The 3 pillars of the budget had no words, like the Minister of Finance had 0 words about climate or environment, and in the press conference, there were no questions about this. So if we see this and all the news about the budget don't have a climate dimension, of course, I see the world is crumbling. It will sound dissonant. So we can think of obviously about our work, but perhaps we have to be more like hold accountable the rest of the journalists. And then the usual things about being a journalist in this century, a lot of precarity, a few people to do a lot of work, and the usual difficulty to reconcile doing the breaking news with short teams and trying to do the more in-depth work. The editors have a lot of work of carving time in our agendas for trying to do more things. And then, well, I just say hashtag therapy. We can do like collective therapy afterwards to share how we deal with it. And sorry for taking 15 minutes too. We can get in touch later.
Thank you so much. Okay, we have. I'm going to let you guys go to break at 11, so I'll be very strict. So I think we have one more lightning talk. We'll see if we have time for questions afterwards. Cornelia Schultz and Wim Svanenberg